Hi everyone, it's Lisa, ElleSnaps on Flosstube and Instagram. This is a channel about cross stitch and other craft antics that I get into. I think that it is the 15th of June. Today is Sunday, and I just wanted to come in and check in with everybody. It's been about a month or maybe a little bit more since my last video, but I had several really cool things that I did in between, and I knew that it might be pushing it when I came back. If my voice sounds a little strained, it's allergies. I'm just allergy all the time. Weepy eye, gunk in the throat, cough, the whole thing. That aside, I've tried to do this video about 5 times now. So I may forget things, but this time I did not forget or forget to remember where I placed my notes. I got this spiral off of a Halloween mystery thing from Shakespeare's Peddler. This is one of the things that I got in it. I really like it too. I did a lot of notes in there for a lot of things, but mostly about my stitching or cross stitch or supplies, things like that. So let's get into what I've been stitching, what's current, all that. I did finish Happy Birthday America by Brenda Gervais. I haven't done anything with it yet, but she's finished. Isn't she lovely? Who knows what I'm going to do with it, but this also came, I bought it as, it came with the little piece of fabric to make the drum with. I'd love to do that, but that's going to take, like a whole day of praying and, stitch and pray a little more and hope and all that good stuff. So at some point I would love to try to do a drum to finish this. And I've got a lot of stuff that I need to finish out into pillows and a couple of strawberries I want to try. And so I know there's going to be a day here where that's where I just sit down with my sewing machine and try my luck at doing a bunch of things like that. Okay, the next thing I finished was Lily, Stacy Nash Designs Lily. And I'm going to say she was a treat to stitch. It took me a while to stitch her because of all the things going on in work and all that, the travel that I did for one of the retreats. But I started her at the BoxCar, the Friends Retreat, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But I started her there, and she's just been a treat. Like, I really enjoyed stitching on her. She's very realistic looking to me, and I thought she was a joy. One of the things that I did when I stitched her was she has these little freckles that are on her face and her legs and her arms, upper arms. I made those dark. When I was in high school, I had freckles all over. And they were 3D almost like that, but they were very dark, cinnamon dark freckles. And they weren't clustered. They were like, dots of them, and they covered me on my arms, but my face was bad. And I would tell people, like, when I would go outside in the sun and then I would come back in, it was like my freckles came in and then I followed my freckles. People would be like, oh my, you seen your freckles? They're so, and I'm like, I know. So Lily has the same freckles, very dark. They're espresso. I used espresso to stitch them with. And they're dark and very visible. And that's the way I wanted them for her, because her and I share those freckles together. At first I was going to put some pockets and things on there. I had some ideas about it or whatever. But when I got her done, or when I got the dress portion of it done, I was like, it's just not as big as I imagined, or, the things that I would be talking about adding on there would be fairly small, and I don't know how they would come out. So instead, Lily made a quilt. And so she made her own quilt, and she'll be stitched on there prior to outlining and making her, which that'll be priority in my stack that I do within the next month or so. The little quilt, just some fusible fleece. I cut out little squares at random. Some are big, some are little. I patchworked them together. Then I sewed them with raw edges showing. I sewed them, on their boundaries all the way up and down, left and right. And then I just put a piece of backing on her. This is a French general in the back as well as the front. And then I sewed another line to outline it, just to hammer it down. I left it raw edged, which I like. So does Lily, as it turns out. And this is her quilt. And I posted her on Instagram, and everybody seems to really love it. So I'm kind of happy with that, kind of pleased with it. Let's see, where did I put it? If you could see this room, I haven't unpacked anything. And she's a mess. This can probably take me about 2 hours to fix once I get out of here. Not your fault. That's me, But I'm going to have to get busy. I I didn't get to meet her. Her name is Sherry Gilbert. She's from, she does a floss tube called Bear Stitches. Or Stitcher. I will put the accurate name down below in the description box. But I went and visited several floss tubers that I didn't know about when I went to Hobby House. And I left her a comment just saying, hey, I was here. I'm sorry I didn't get to meet you while I was there. But I heard about her, and I came to see her floss tube, which is really cute. And just wanted her to know that I had been there. She Instagrammed me 3 or 4 days later and said, you've won my 1,000th giveaway subscriber. And I was like, wow. And I had to go back and refresh myself on what it was. And then I thought, well, I'm mistaken. That's not what it is. But that's not true. When I got this in the mail, I got this absolutely awesome project bag with Teresa Kogut fabric. It's quilted. It's beautiful. It's white on the inside. Gorgeous bag. I think I was enamored with this tag too. I don't know who made it. I apologize for that. If I find out, I'll definitely tell you. In this project bag was a marking sampler from Shakespeare's Pedal, I believe. Yep. Which I'm all about. I'm all about it. Love it. And then a Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread that I actually don't have. Let's get real. I have lots of them. Lots of them. If I told you how much I had of it, you'd be embarrassed for me. But anyway, I didn't have this one, and that's what it looks like. This picture is not a good picture of it because the colors that go into this are way more vibrant than that picture will ever be. She included threads that she picked that she thought would work, and I agree with her. Look at these threads. They're beautiful. I'm not like all these where they have the gorgeous threads. Anyway, here you go. They're beautiful. And this sampler, this little Quaker done this way with these threads will be beautiful. But she didn't stop there. She also sent fabric, and this is beautiful. I would have bought this. This is a beautiful piece of fabric. So just color me surprised and elated that I got this wonderful gift from Bear stitches. I can't remember which. I will link it below so that you guys can go and check her out. She's super awesome. Very kind to talk with on through messaging. I just love it. And I'm so tickled pink to have won it. Like, how lucky am I? I should say, how blessed am I? This is a blessing. So thank you very much. I do still have a thank you card that I'm putting together to mail to you. But I can't thank you enough, Sherry. I'm trying to get the, there we go. I didn't want that one to fall apart. Okay, so the current thing that I'm stitching, I started this for Flag Day. I wanted to stitch what Katie is stitching. It's a heartstring samplery one with it's patriotic. I can't think of the name of it, but I wanted to stitch that with her. But I've got so many big things going. I just couldn't make myself start it, and I hate that. I should have started. I should have just did it with her, but instead I had pulled this one out, and I started stitching on it. That's where I am. Hey, why do I do that? You guys don't want to see my hanging threads, but this is a Cedar River linen. It is 36 count maple fudge bar, I believe is what it's called. I really like it. It stitches well. The threads are doing well on it, and I'm excited to get to the little woman holding the flag. Isn't she beautiful? Everything Brenda Gervais does people-wise is just so cute. These are I know you may not be able to see them well through bags, but these are all the threads. Looks like a whole lot, doesn't it? It's not. When I was going through my threads, pulling threads for this, I found this many endives. I buy a lot of threads of, like, if I go into a shop and I have favorite greens or favorite this or favorite that, I'll buy a lot of them. So I'll buy one every time because I'm like, I don't know if I have enough. I think I'm good. Like, I probably should lay low on that for now. And we'll put this back up real quick so that I don't have to hunt anything down later in this colossal mess that's in here. It's not even a joke. It's not even a joke. Okay. We'll talk about retreats. I was invited to a retreat. It's called a Friends Retreat, I believe. And I was so honored to be asked to go. It was Memorial Day weekend at BoxCar, and it was a ton of fun. It was a ton of fun. I laughed so much. I talked so much. I met awesome ladies, just people that I not interacted with before, didn't know about. And I can't tell you how much fun I had with them. I mean, really, I had a ton of fun. While I was there, everybody did their little, I'm just going to go into it, but everybody did their little table gifts and things. And this is what I made. They were watermelons. And I just stuck a pin and some buttons on there just to, you can use it as a pin cushion or a little slice of summer or regift it. whatever you'd like to do, but I made these for everyone. And then the tables were just jammed with gifts. These were, let me see if I can, yes, this is from Linnie, the Sable Stitcher. Let me get this turned around. Look at how cute that is. And then it had some frog and, I don't know if the seam ripper came from, it probably did, but a card and scissor keep, or, you know, a zipper pull, whichever you want to use it as. But there's a little green bag thing full of frogs, and it is cute. I loved it. Someone left these little guys, and if you know, anybody knows me, I love clasps. I love a good clasp. I love purses like this and coin purses like this. I have old ones. I've got new ones. I am a sucker for a clasp purse. And I love this thing. It has some stuff in here that I can't remember where they came from. A big clip. A nail file. And I believe this was an extra button that I had when I was putting together the watermelons. I don't know how to end up in there. This is from Stitching by Brook, by the Brook. Yes, yes. And that's Brooke. I met her at the BoxCar retreat last year, and she was there. And let me just tell you something about Brooke. I sat beside her. We were all named. We had our places, and I was beside her, and I sat there like in slow-mo while she sewed together a complete quilt top, sewed together another big block that she just left out part of and reorganized it so it would work for her, with fabric that was beautiful. And then she started like 2 projects, worked on another project, and she made 2 project bags. While she sat there, she made me look like I was in slow motion. Like, at one point, I just sat there and was watching her do that. Whatever it was, I just kept watching her. And she has exemplary posture while she's sewing. Look, there's no hunching. This is her sewing like the wind. I was so impressed. I know that I got on her nerves. I was so impressed. At any rate, she gave out these little wooden floss tags and zipper pull, needle bling, scissor bling, things like that, whatever you want to hook it to. But she gave out this stuff. She was so nice. And her cards. I didn't get the name of who gave this out, but I'm very, very grateful. This was Blue Bonnet, a little fat quarter of Blue Bonnet fabric, and it is so cute. I cannot wait to use it. And anytime I think of blue bonnets, I think of Trinka. Look at what I got, Trinka. It's so cute. And then I don't know why I say Ariel every time, but her name is Laurel, the stitching nerd, and or the stitch nerd. Why can't I think of it? Anyway, I loved her. I loved her. I laughed until there was no air exchange. I thought someone was going to have to pound me on the back. Like, I loved her. Just thought she was amazing. I thought someone was coming in. It's about to go. It's about to go. Let's go. Anyway, they saved themselves by shutting the door. She gave out to everyone. Oh, look at this. So I'm reading her card. She gave out these little ephemera in a frame. There's some cards, a couple of cards in here, old vintage photograph looking, with these little frames. And it also had a card with this lace on it. So I took the lace off and I put it on my the New England Stitcher little girl bobbin that I got from her. These are so cute. They come in 2 sizes. They're adorable. I give them as gifts. But anyway, I didn't have anything on her. And when I saw the lace, I was like, this will be perfect for her. So, hi, Laurel. Oh my gosh, I laughed so hard with that chick. Just dead. Carolee, I'd never met Laurel or Carolee, but Carolee was there, and here's some ribbon that came from her package, but she gave everyone this little kit, and it's for the, it's the chart and the fabric and the backing board to do it on, and then you put it on the needle, on the tin. And she had hers finished, and it is adorable. I mean, adorable. So I'll definitely be adding this to the things that I stitch up soon enough. I mean, really, this is cute. Thank you, Carolee. I've got to move everything around. I don't think this came from the retreat. If it did, I apologize, but I believe I got this from a lady at BoxCar, and I just wanted to say, hey, thank you so much. These are adorable. And then Renee gave out these little floss cards on a ring. And, oh, this is from Celeste. I love that it's red with the hearts on it. And Texas with a nice little note. I think that these are from Kim the Contented Stitcher, I think. But she also gave out several other little things that were just adorable. But I believe this is from Kim. And what a nice lady. I'd never met her before. Super kind, super gracious, just graceful. She's a super nice lady. And I had met Celeste at the retreat last year at BoxCar. And she's a hoot. This, it was put together much better than this. But this came from Katie. And my little strawberry that I got from her. It's so cute. It's beautiful. And then there's some tea and some strawberry candies and this little charm. And I forgot all about these candies. I'm going to have to eat them. Or maybe I'll share. Probably not. We'll see. This is from Krista, the Wildflower Stitcher. This is, oh, this came from Linnie. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's a frog paper clip. It's cute as ever. But this was from Krista. And it comes with the pellet that you pour water on and it expands, and you can add the seeds of thyme. And she doesn't know it, but I'm an herb freak. For years and years, I had a giant herb garden. I grew everything I could think to grow, or even researched and studied that you could grow in Texas. And I love any form of herbs. And this is definitely gonna get planted and taken care of. Probably in a windowsill, because they tend to grow really well in that window. Now let's see. This cute little box is from Krista, and it was full of a wool project. Wool and a wooden, so you've got your wooden spool, and then your full pieces, your wool pieces, I should say, for goodness sake. But there were several wool pieces, different colors, green. There are patterns, and then there's also this pin, a beautiful little bumblebee. And then the center is the ball, so eventually it becomes a pin. And everything is assembled and set on top of. I know you've seen others do it already. but it assembles and sits on top of the wooden spool. And then the twill tape is tied around it. It's really cute. I saw some of them do it right there. And I loved it. Still have it going. First, I'm going to take care of getting that done. And this was from Roberta. And it's full of some fun stuff. But look at how it's got lotion and just sanitizer, some candy. I've already looked in there once. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. But anyway, this came from Roberta. I really loved it. A unique idea, and I love it. And then this came from Wanda and Merritt, who, like watching Brook, was like watching someone just power through. They brought all kinds of projects to finish. They each brought their sewing machines like Brook did, and they just sewed up a storm the whole time they were there. All the things that they had laying out were beautiful. I just couldn't get over it. Kept going over and marveling at all of it, especially Merritt's Stacy Nash sewing roll. It was so pretty. Made me want to drop everything that I was everything I was doing. Lily, I did nothing compared to these people, I'm telling you. But they got together and they made these little baskets. Aren't they cute? But they made these little baskets full of little treats. And this, I've named her Miss Clucksworth. Miss Clucksworth is very flowery, very pretty. She likes to color her hair. She doesn't have a problem, you know, letting me know when I'm out of line. Yeah, it gives me a few clucks. But she's beautiful. I love this fabric. I think it's 1930s playtime, I think. But anyway, I just love it. They couldn't have picked a better thing to make to pass out, because these were a raging hit. He's so cute. And she sits now. She sits right here. She'll be right over my shoulder. She'll be watching. She'll tell you what she thinks if she sees something awry. So cute. Thank you very, very much. They were starting, I also got this from the Sable Stitchers. I loved it. I want to stitch that too. They were stitching a band from this right across this centerpiece, or just inside it right there. Several of them finished it while they were there. I love this whole thing. I love the house, and I especially love the border. And I got to be at a retreat just a couple of weeks ago, or a week ago, and got to talk to Teresa Kogut, and I let her know how much I really, really love this border. They're so cute. Anyhow, my goal would be to do the whole thing, even though I saw this finished, the centerpiece finished, and it's adorable. It could not be cuter. It's really, really pretty. Okay, so Brook was working on that one block that was Christmassy, and I just kind of fell in love with that fabric. So she said you can't get it anymore. It's not made or hard to find. So, of course, I went online and went looking, and I found a layer cake of it. Let's see if I can show. There we go. It's so cute. I probably paid more than I wanted to for it. Maybe by a couple, you know, like $5 or $6 more than it probably would have sold for. But I don't mind. It's really cute fabric, and I'm going to figure out something to do with it. Love it. Okay, so, all right. While I was at BoxCar, of course, we shopped at BoxCar, the quilt store that's just up, you know, you can walk up there, drive up there. In Texas, you know, it's really hot outside. So driving a car is probably the best. I walked the second time that I went, and I complained the whole time. I did get a lot of pictures of flowers and things like that because I do love nature in itself, but I prefer not to bake in it. But I think they forgave me. I'm not sure. Katie was with me and she laughed at me the whole way, so she may have forgave me. Maybe that was just her way of coping. I don't know, but I probably shouldn't have walked. Okay, not a lot of people know, at least not a lot of the cross-stitch world knows. My son and his wife, Jess, they just had a little boy on May 29th. His name is Kix, and he's adorable. Everybody's well. We've had, you know, I left like 5 days after he was born, and then I've got to be with him quite a bit afterward, and he's adorable. He's so cute with a head full of black hair. And I'll take an official photo of him and post it eventually, but right now he's just ours. And with that said, when I went over to BoxCar, I didn't have really anything in mind, but then I saw this panel. Now I'm not going to unfold the whole thing, but it's Wild at Heart, and it's got all these little cute, you know, it's got the horseshoes, the howdy howdy. It's not all there, but you can get the idea. And you know, stuff like that. It's really, really cute. And it's got, I want to say 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think it's got 9 little panels on it, outlined by those horseshoes and stuff, and I'm going to cut them out. Now, at first, I bought this fabric to do like sashing and a border or something like that, because I thought I could, you know, that was something I could handle. But then Lisa came back over and she had this fabric, and we thought it matched up really well. It's a homespun. I wish you could see it. It's kind of reflective. It's a homespun. It's a checked material. There we go. And it matches. It's got some of it in there. So I thought I could do some sashing and a border, or do sashing and the border with the other. Something like that. Well, I bought plenty of it to work with. Maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. But this is the backing. I knew that I wanted to do this with the backing, so that's for the new grandbaby. I bought these, and I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they're adorable. They're Texas. Love the coloring. Love it. I also bought, I can't find where I put the rest of these, but I bought a whole family of these kind of fabrics, and I thought maybe I could make a mat or something. And then I bought this just for kicks, just for fun. I also bought this little charm pack. I thought I could make something fun out of that. They're really cute. It's like I can't stand to have everything right here. It's got to fall off. And then I also got this. So I have a couple ideas for this one. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that, I didn't have any intentions of buying fabric. Isn't that the story? Isn't that the way it works? Well, it didn't work any different for me. I didn't have any plans to buy fabric. I walked out of there with like, you know, $100 worth of fabric. But I do think the quilt will be cute once I get it done. Let me look. And I think that is everything from there. The retreat was a friend's retreat. It was at BoxCar. Once you're at BoxCar, you really don't have a reason to leave unless you want to go, you know, Walmart or Target or find an antique store somewhere around, whatever. But I end up staying the whole time I'm there. I kind of you know, it's like an hour away from my home, so it's kind of nice to just go there and not go anywhere. Most of your meals are handled except for the day that you leave and the day that you arrive. Part of that's not part of it, but it's really great. The people are real nice, and the quilt shop is right there. So they've incorporated some cross stitching, some of their some linen, a little bit of floss, bunch of charts, things like that, some magnets, some needle minders, things like that. I bought some linen from them and a chart. I got chili. Stacy Nash Animal Cracker, I got chili. I bought that one. I know you're not supposed to say, it's not grammatic, like grammar-wise, it's not correct to say I got, I've got, or I bought, or something like that. But I don't know, I guess I got sounds okay. We'll see. You guys can correct me in the comments down below. I forgot to mention someone when I went to Hobby House. Patty handed out these baskets, and it's full of little notions. It's full of everything you've seen already, but I forgot to mention that she gave us this, and there was like some kind of celebration going on in San Antonio, and that is why she got these, to represent the heritage of San Antonio, and then also give it as a table gift for everyone there. So it's really cute. It's pliable. It's adorable, and I wanted to mention it. Thank you, Patty. Okay, I had a blast there. Like I said, I met some ladies, Jan, who was quick-witted and funny, and Laurel, who about killed me with her fainting stories. Carolee was like with her little kid and her 10, and so much. I got to meet Linnie, and oh, what a treat. What an absolute treat she is. I just loved her. I loved her. And I'm praying for you, Linnie. And I saw your video before I did this, and I'm so thankful. And you're right. The Lord works. Prayer works. And I will absolutely keep you in my prayers. But I can't be happier that the Lord reached out for you. I had met Roberta at the 2023 Amana, but I hadn't had an occasion to meet her again. And she was there. She's so personable and so nice, and I'm glad she had fun at Fredericksburg when they left, and I just really loved her. I met Krista, the wildflower stitcher. Now, I had met her once before at the Silver Needle, but I didn't get to know her. And she's hilarious. Her mother is sweet as can be. They made a project bag together, and I just loved every minute that I got to talk with Krista. She was so super sweet. Lisa from Black Coffee and Grits and Michelle were there. A delight as always. Happy to see them. And then my friend Katie. And there was several other people that I hadn't met. Renee, who I loved her fashion sense. I wish I were more like that. She's so put together and so funny and so Southern. She sounds very Southern. I don't know if she actually is, but she sounds it. And there was Shelley and Jamie, who's new to stitching, and I loved meeting her and having a few minutes to get to know her and talk with her. And then, okay, I'm trying to think. SaraSue, I was over there. And Cynthia Brewer from Stitching with the Light. How fantastic was it to meet her in person? She's just a delight, for real. And then Merritt and Wanda, who I just loved meeting all these ladies, and I can't tell you how grateful I was to be included in that, invited to that. They may have regretted it in the end, but I hope not. I had a blast with these people, a real blast with it. I'm very grateful, very blessed to have gone. So I came back from that, and it was only a matter of 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks that I had to get ready to go to Amana. And I drive from Amana. You know, I live in North Texas. It's an 11-hour and 20-minute drive. Not bad going, terrible coming home. I tell you, on the drive home, I thought these states had expanded. I thought they had expanded at least several hundred miles each state. It was the longest drive, like just the longest drive. And one of the issues, like, well, obviously you're coming home, so you're tired from, you know, the fun and the things that you did while you were at the retreat. But one of the things is like when you're going, the sun is on the other side of the car. But when you're coming back, it's right there in your window and right here in the corner of your windshield the whole way home. Like, it just moves a little over, that's all. And I do not like summer, and I don't like heat. And yes, I was inside a vehicle that had a very functioning AC, and I was nice and comfortable, except for the sun that just kept beating on my head. And that made that drive just the worst. But would it keep me from getting in my car and driving back to Amana? That's a no. I would go back to Amana, you know, once a month. Like, I would not have a problem driving up there. It's not a bad drive. After I just said that. Typically, it's not a bad drive. Especially if you had someone with you, it'd be great. And I've also said that my sister and I've taught her many times. I'm like, I want to go on this trip with you. We don't have to go to a retreat. We can drive up to Amana. It's an amazing colony. It's just amazing. I can't say that enough. You would have plenty to do, plenty to look at. You could just stay there, enjoy your time there, and it would be great. Like, great. You're 2.5 hours away from Spring Green. So if one day you wanted to get up and just drive over to Country Sampler, you could do that. You could do the Little Red Hen. There's a wool place too. There's the Amish market that's like an hour before. There's so much you could do there, or just around there or in your trip. And I want to do that with my sister. And I think she's pretty convinced of it. She doesn't watch my videos, so, you know, I could say the sky's green and the ground is blue, and she's not going to know. But I think she'll like it. I think she'll have fun. If you know her, tell her that she needs to go with me, because I am a blast to be around. According to me, I read the reviews and I'm good. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, Amana. I left for Amana on Wednesday, and I got there late, probably 9 to 10, somewhere in there. Got up into my room. It's awesome. Air goes down, so it's nice and chilly in my room. The next day I met up with Carlene, and we went over to the quilt store and to the coffee shop in the visitor center, because they have the best coffee. And then we went back over and got our things and went on in, because the retreat opened at noon. It was held at the Millwright, and my room was at the Millwright. So this place is awesome. Wood floors, exposed brick, awesome. My room was literally down the ramp and around the corner. Like, I could go to my room anytime I wanted, and I wouldn't kill a whole lot of time doing it. So I was really happy with that. The retreat center itself, like where we were, well lit. I loved it. We were seated in long tables, like everybody's already talked about, and I didn't mind that. I do like round tables a little bit better, but I didn't have an issue with, you know, how it was set up or anything like that. Michelle was there. I got to hug her right off the bat. So the setup was great. And then Carlene and I were there, and then Liz and her daughter Sadie showed up, and well, they may have already been there prior to, you know, regardless. And then the other side I had never met was Tori. And then I met also a Stephanie. She was just across. So Carlene was sitting by Stephanie and I was sitting by Tori. Very nice ladies. Very, very happy to meet them. In fact, like all the people all the way about 6 rows, or 6 chairs up, where we had a great time together. We talked and laughed and carried on. And if you follow me on Instagram, there's a video of our table, and a lot of them are sitting there. There was a Rachel and a Rachel, a Megan, an Amber, a Kylan. Oh, I can't remember Kylan's aunt's name, but Kylan's aunt was there. There's a ton of really nice, super nice ladies. So we just really got down to stitching that day, and everybody was passing out all the things that your table mate gifts, and then all the little things that you put together to give out to every stitcher that's there, or table, you know, like little trinkets, things like that. They did play left, right, center, but we had left to go to dinner, and I think it was around 7. So we went and ate dinner, and we came back, and they had done the left, right, center. So I felt like I was pretty lucky because I got to keep my threads. I won. Anyway, these were the threads that I picked, and ironically, I picked Endive, Bamboo, and a pretty orange ginger snap. But these were supposed to be my colors for left, right, center. And look what I won. Just by not being there, I got to keep them. I think we stitched, the room was open till 10 o'clock at night. We stitched till 10 at night every night. And I stayed at least till 9:30 every night. And had a blast doing it. I got to talk to so many people. And I just wanted to say, there were some of them that I didn't get names from, but Amanda was at my table way up front. And I didn't get to come over and talk with her any, but she had come to me and told me that she watches my videos and that she really liked them. And I just can't thank you enough for coming to me. And I took a picture of you with your stitching that you got from the exchange, and your mouth was open in a weird way in the photo, and I didn't want to post it like that. I didn't want you to think that I didn't enjoy meeting you. Not at all. I just didn't want to post that photo of you looking like that. So reach out to me, and I'd love to follow you on Instagram, or, you know, just reach out to me. Mrs. Curry's classroom, she came to me and talked to me. How excited was I to meet her. She was very nice and told me she really enjoyed my videos. There were a bunch of people that came to me and told me that they really enjoyed my videos, and they're very happy that I'm doing them and encouraging me to keep going, that kind of thing. And I cannot thank you enough for your kindness. I really appreciate it. If you reach out to me, I would love to know your names. I'd love to follow you on Instagram, that kind of thing. I apologize for not getting it. It was so hectic there sometimes. At any rate, so what we got, I'm just going to start out with gifts, because there's a lot of them. But Donna White, she is Police Mom 1, I think, on Instagram. She gave everyone these the old quilted flags. Look how cute. They're so cute. I love it. And I'm going to add that to my decor back here. And then we went to the quilt store, and they had these little chickens. And I just thought they were the cutest things I'd ever seen. So I bought several. And you don't know, and probably, you know, some of you don't know, but you're probably going to end up with one of these. Yep. I don't have to show, and I can also show, I don't have to worry about showing those because my sister doesn't watch, so she might end up with one. But I went into Amazing Grace, the antique store there that everybody loves, and I bought this. And this, my sister buys old blocks or vintage blocks, things like that, from stacks of them from thrift stores and things like that. She's got tons, and I keep trying to encourage her to make something out of them, and I think she wants to. She just has so many quilts in mind, or that she's working on it. She hasn't done it yet, but I'm going to add to her little stack, and then I also got her this. So we'll put that there, and that's her little gift. And then we went to the woolen store, Warped and Woolen, I believe it's what it's called. It's part of Millworks. It's one of the little store with all the wool products and things like that. And I got this little guy. Oh my gosh, I might be in love with him. You can use him as a thread bed too. He's gonna go everywhere with me. I already know, aren't you? Her name is Woolamina. We named her Woolamina, Woolemina, I think, something like that. There was only one left, and I got to get it, and I felt bad, Carlene, but not bad enough to let you have him or have her. I'm sorry, but I am working on getting another one to replace it. So I'm trying to figure out how to get one to Carlene. Carlene gave away a bunch of frogs. This little tomato with these frogs pins, and a whole bag full of frogs and thread. And look, I wanted to show you guys this. Endive. I could sell endive now. I have that many of them. But she put some stickers in here. And this little frog, which I'm not going to lie, my granddaughter's going to really love. So he's wearing sunglasses. He wears them a lot like I do, kind of crooked. No, they're there. Well, they just completely came off, but he's adorable. I love all my gifts. Thank you, Carlene. Now, some of them I don't know. I just, they were winging them. I believe this came from Jessica Sweetwater Stitcher. These floss cards. I believe this came from the Mary Crow. She passed those out to everyone. This came from Burn Stitches. She put it in a little bag for me. And this came from Leslie. Adorable. You can stitch on it. These are the cutest things. I love this. I don't know who this is from, but hello, love it. Little frog. Same thing. Cute as ever. Look how those navy. I love that. I don't know what that one is. Someone passed out these little bags. And they are, let me see if I can find the opening for it. Oh, here it is. Well, you can't get them to come out. Magnets. But they're like hooks. Love them. She gave us 3 of those. I'm going to use the tar out of them now that I've shown them to you. This is an Orts container that, let's see if it shows her name on here, Diane. That's my little name, Diane. Teresa gave us, and from Shakespeare's Peddler, gave us everybody got this chart and a thread. And I thought that was incredibly nice. It came from it's an excerpt from one of her charts, but I love it. I'll put that right there. Put that right there. And I got this from Kristen. And it's just some pony needles, which I've never tried. I don't think I'll give those a go. Thank you very much. And so there's some thread in here too. I love pink. It's a great little bag. Someone gave this little bag. It came with some stuff in it, and it might not even have been at that retreat, but it was in my bag. So when I came back from BoxCar, I did not undo my bog bag. Everything pretty much stayed in there except for the current stuff that I was working on. So when I went to Amana, this was already in there. So I just loaded up all my stuff inside this to keep track of them. And so this may not have come from there. I'm not sure. Okay, so that's everything on that. Now, I wanted to go over some of the stuff I shopped and bought. Okay. Michelle gave out from Goose these bags. And they're beautiful. This is the flag that's on the inside. I am in love. I'm totally enamored with this bag. That's Goose. So what I put into this bag was one of the things there were a couple of things that I wanted to buy, but I knew that in Michelle's Farmgirl Dry Goods pop-up shop that I probably would not buy many charts. I wanted to buy fabric or threads, or I definitely always want a wooden board, things like that, little thread board, things like that, so that I can physically pull it out and said this came from Farmgirl Dry Goods while I was in Amana. But I did make an exception, and I bought this chart because I didn't have it already. And then I also bought the finishing and stuff to do it with. And then I also bought this little guy, which came with these awesome pins so that I could decorate them when I'm done. And then I took all of these and put them in this bag. So now I've got my bag all done up with Patriotic. So that's what I'm going to use it for, and I really love it. Thank you, Goose, for your craftsmanship, and Michelle for the bag, and then me for buying the stuff that went in it. Well, for Farmgirl Dry Girls for making it available as well. So we went over to the quilt store. Like I said, I bought the little chickens from the quilt store, but I also bought this chart. I saw it stitched. It's really pretty, very autumnal. And then I got the threads for it as well. It was a separate pack, so I just went ahead and got both. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna make a mess. And then I bought this. This is a little embroidery kit, which I fully plan on doing. And look at it. Look at it. They had those already stitched up, and I just loved them. So I bought that to do. And then I also I had to get something Stacy Nash, so I also bought this as well. Isn't that pretty? So we got that. And I think that is all that I bought there. Then we went back to the quilt store the next day. Let me think what I bought. Oh, it's not in here. I bought a book of embroidery that I really, really liked, and I'll try to show it the next time. But I also got these fabrics. And as part of Brenda's presentation, the designer for Amana this summer one, I thought that I could use this or perhaps this. No. For the bonnet. So I bought the fabric in Amana to do that with, or with that in mind. And then that's all that I bought from the quilt store. And then in the pop-up shop, with the exception of that chart, the Grand Old Flag, I bought, oh, here's the book. This is the book that I bought at the quilt store. Some of these are adorable. Let me see if I can find a picture. Look at that. Stop it. So I bought that to start working on. And at Farmgirl Dry Goods, I always like to get something wooden. I got this. There were so many cute ones. And of course her name is on it, so I love that. And then I got the finishing for Tomato Hill. The finishing and the threads. And then I got this fabric. I think this is Seraphim. Yeah, antique lace. And dirty teacup, which I've never had any dirty teacup, so I was real happy to find it. And then Hawthorne. I think it's Hawthorne. Nope. Thornfield. I got that. And then I blame Carlene for this, but I bought this. They were made up and done. She had stitched them. They're adorable. They're so cute. Comes with all the supplies, including the board that goes inside. And I loved this. There were several different kinds. This was my favorite one. There was Christmas and there was several different kinds. You would love them. I believe that's all I got from, there may be some scragglers in here, but I believe that's all I bought from Farmgirl Dry Goods. But they drew, or each table, each section of a table, so we had 6 people in a section, and we got a table number, and they drew those numbers to see the order of how people went into the pop-up store, and we were the 4th. So we got up in there, but I'm going to tell you that 40 count was pretty much gone by the time we got up there. I don't mind, 36-month jam anyway. But she had tons of stuff, tons. Like, there might have been a couple of things that ran out, but she had tons to, you couldn't have been disappointed if you got up there, because there was so much to get, to look at and buy, and so many models. It was just great. It was really a good little pop-up store. Got to meet Gary, who was running the register up there, and we talked about whether we're boomers or Gen Xers, or I'm a boomer. We decided, yeah. I was feral. My mom didn't know where we were most of the time till we came home looking for food. That's not a joke. It's probably true. Then we went into Carlene, and at some point Carlene and Liz and Sadie and I we're in town, so we took off and went, shopping a little bit. We went to the chocolate house, the general store, the Amazing Grace, the antique store. There were several places that we popped in and out of. But I bought this at the general store. It's the cutest felt bag, a wool bag. Look at it. It's so cute. Got that. And I got my Amana mug. I got to be careful. It's got some some Van Zant Hondo Sidekick in there. Oh, coffee is sustenance. So I got my Amana mug, my little purse, and I think a couple little trinkets. Oh, some taffy. A little bit, a handful of taffy. I'll talk about that in a second. I've already covered all of that. I've covered that. All right, so at the retreat on, yeah, we were there all day on Thursday, and then Friday was the day that we didn't go shopping until Saturday. But Friday was the day that around 1 o'clock, Brenda, the featured designer for the Farmgirl Gatherings workshop for summer, was there to present her design. And let me just tell you, I've been to several retreats where our amazing designers have spoken, and you know, you're in awe of their process and things like that. But Brenda talked about her inspiration for how she came up with that. And by the time you've seen this, you've heard all this. But from my perspective, it was beautiful and eloquent and graceful. And she talked about how she had her sketch pad and sat down to, when she started thinking about Amana and what she wanted to do and how to put that on paper. She thought about a postcard that she had bought several years prior, and that inspired her, and she went and got the postcard and used that postcard as inspiration for her design, especially the sunbonnets that the girls wore that were on the postcard. And by now you've seen this postcard, but I want to insert here. I went to Amana back in May of 23, and Paulette Stewart was the designer. It was the American Welcome design on that. Anyway, while I was shopping, while I went there, I had bought all these postcards. I'm a postcard fanatic. I have postcards that my granny wrote to my mom. Because we're military, we were a little bit of everywhere, and I have a lot of those postcards that were posted from East Texas, like Kilgore area, and other areas too. So I've collected postcards forever. I have from Pottery Barn these two big wall things that have glass fronts that slide up and down, and they're full of old postcards. Some that are personal to us and some that I found other places. Just unique postcards that I've bought places that were not vintage, but just unique in nature. So it's my tendency to buy postcards pretty much, where at least a postcard wherever I go. Well, that year I had bought all these postcards. I bought several, and sometimes I will actually buy postcards and ship them out. You know, say, wish you were here, that kind of thing. So I might even frame them. Like, I've been known to do that too. Or punch a hole in it and use it as a tag to give as a gift with other things. So postcards are my jam, and I have these postcards from when I went back in 23. But I also went into the everybody's favorite antique store there is called Amazing Grace. And that year I had gone into the shop, and I found this postcard. And I bought it. I don't even know how much, I can't even remember how much money I paid for this. It's got addresses. It's from, let me put my super expensive reading system on. $19.48. Oh, $19.12. $19.12. Still has the original stamp, address, all of that. And it came back from the post office because it wasn't addressed properly. And I have it now. And I've had this for a while. I love it. And so when she said that, I was like, oh, that touched my heart. But I do that. I look for postcards everywhere I go. And I have that postcard, and I will associate it with the first Amana trip and now the second one with Brenda Gervais. So when she gave her speech, which there wasn't a not teary eye in the place. Everybody teared up over this. It was very, for whatever reason, it felt emotional and beautiful. It was wonderful. So when she started talking about the symbols and things like that she put into it and why she put them there and all of that, it's like, once this is stitched, once I stitch this, and probably just like the other stitchers that were there, you would be hard pressed not to remember her words when you see it and when you're done with it and when it's hanging on your wall. But this is Stay True. And that is the postcard that she's referring to. I know that I posted a picture. Lots of us did. It's been in Sweetwater Stitcher's video. She did a great recap, and then what is wrong with me? The taco stitcher. It's a good thing she doesn't watch me. The tattoo stitcher, the tattooed stitcher, she's talked about it. Burn Stitches has talked about it. There's probably several more, and I just, I don't know. But like them, I'm going to talk about it too, but this is what it looked like, and that was the postcard that inspired her thoughts and emotions, and where what direction that it took her in and inspired her to do this sampler. So we received the threads, and we received the chart, the thread kit. It came with Winter Brew. I'll probably find something else to stitch it on, but it's beautiful fabric. I'll use it for pillows. It came with the magnets, the big fridge magnet that we can use as a needle holder when you preload needles. And then also a card that goes on the back of your finished piece when you're done. And probably the most inspired part was the pattern chart to make your own needlebook bonnet. And it's adorable. Like, I think this was the thing that I was the most enamored with when I walked away. The chart is amazing. The story is amazing. But she put this into a needlebook form for us to use and to make. And it's beautiful. And forever I will think of what inspired her, and now will inspire me. So I really will make that up. And that's why I bought the fabric that I bought from the quilt store, so that it would be fabric that that came from Amana the weekend that this was given to us. And Brenda couldn't have been more gracious and eloquent about how she spoke about this in her homeland of Iowa. And she was gracious and kind and signed it. I got my picture with her, just like I would have if she was Elvis. Anyway, she was very kind and nice, and I know she spoke to a lot of people, and she was patient and wonderful and all that good stuff. The retreat didn't disappoint, and not just in the way of the featured designer, which is Brenda Gervais, which, how can you lose with Brenda Gervais? But it was a beautiful place to be, which was Amana. It had wonderful people there. All the people that attended, that I spoke to, didn't speak to, whatever. People I ran into before, that I've talked to before, like the cow stitcher, Krista, and I got to see Carlene again. We don't get to, even though we live in Texas, we don't get to see each other often. So it was really fun to be with her. Liz and her daughter's a new stitcher, and man, can she stitch. I feel personally responsible, because we went to the quilt store and I saw the artsy housewife stuff, and I said, you need to have Sadie look at this wall. She's going to like it. And she did. So I own that. Like, I started that. She bought a project and the fabric and started working on it that day when we got back over there. And I'm telling you, she was stitching like the wind. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I cannot wait to see her progress on it, which I'll probably have to message her. But she was doing a great job for a new stitcher. Just a super job. And it was good to see Liz again. I had met her at Amana in 23, and I really enjoyed seeing her. I got to see the Sweetwater Stitcher Jessica again, and I said hi to the Tattoo Stitcher and Burn Stitches, and I met Denise from Goose, and what a hoot, and I loved her. I'm sure that if I sat with her, I would have 100 things we could talk about. But we did talk about featherweights, and she brought a sewing bird around for everybody to look at. And we talked about featherweight irons, which I didn't even know existed. But, you know, she told me all about it. She told Carlene and I all about it. But anyway, super nice lady. Loved meeting her. Megan and Rachel, I believe they're from Missouri. And this was their very first retreat. And they picked a good one. Did they not? They picked a good one. It was just a lot of fun, a lot of camaraderie, a lot of sweet people. Annie Bees. I didn't get to see the girls, but I got to see Annie again and hug her neck, and what a treat. So they're really good people, and I just love Annie. There were plenty of people that came up and talked to me about the Flosstube. Like I said, I can't thank you enough that you know, how humbled am I that I get to, you know, talk to people that I wouldn't get to talk to normally. I'm very grateful, very thankful. Michelle, you know I love you, and you did a beautiful job, and I hope to come back. I loved meeting your husband, and thank you very, very much for what you do. I hope you're not as tired as you were that night when it was over. But it was so worth it, and I had a blast. I had a great time. And that's it. So I'll be back in like maybe a month, and it'll be after the 4th of July. I know that much, because I have another retreat to go to. Which I'm not even ashamed of that. I'm going to another retreat back at BoxCar. And then I'll be, you know, I've already signed up for one with AJ and Terry again next year. AJ twisted my arm right behind my back. Not that I'll regret it. I will have a blast there. I know I will. But I doubt that I stack retreats one on top of each other like I did this year. That was exhausting. That's what that was. But every one of them, none of them have disappointed me. And I'm blessed to have been able to go. And the year prior, I had a couple of retreats that I had to cancel, and things didn't work out for me. And this year, they've worked out. The Lord is blessing me right and left. And I could not be more grateful. So this is all the Lord's doing. Everything positive and good in your life. You have to say it. Say thank you. And I am very thankful. I think that's all I've got going on here. I'll see you guys next time. My son just walked in here, so I gotta go. You guys have a good one.